Hello, hello, friends. It is Jackie with Pocket of Preschool, and I am so excited you guys are here with me tonight because tonight we are talking all about the new All About Plants science unit. And at the end, the unit I'll probably show you about, it probably would take about 15 minutes. And then after that, I'm gonna do a big Q&A and tell you all of the supplies I use and talk about just the entire science curriculum. And I have very, very, very exciting news to share with you. I live in St. Louis, and the St. Louis Science Center contacted me, and they will be using my Pocket of Preschool Little Learner Science curriculum in the Discovery Room. And what's even crazier is that they didn't know I was local. So I get to go see my science curriculum at a real science center. So isn't that crazy, guys? I just had to share with you all of the awesome news about the science curriculum. So you guys are loving it, and I'm loving making it. So it's a good combo, right? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna show you the new All About Plant science unit, which you can kind of see behind me. And then I'll tell you and have your questions ready just about anything related to the science curriculum. I'm gonna show you trays and tools and just what you need and just all things. So yeah, and I'm gonna flip it around. You guys ready? So as you guys know, I always make fun, fabulous science, and I'm shaky tonight, guys, sorry. I guess I've had too much caffeine. That happens, right? So I have a fabulous science table set up, and this is one of the new activities that I just added today based on your feedback, like I said. So there are real photographs with vocabulary cards. So it's got the life cycle, what plants need, the parts of a plant, and then here is one of the new activities. So you can have a tray of veggies. So this will be good if you're doing a farm theme. This will be perfect for that. If you're not just doing plants, you can do this with farm. But you can just grab some veggies from the store, and you don't have to buy a lot. Literally, guys, buy one Brussels sprout. I think the radishes are $1. But you don't have to buy a lot. You could even go to the what's it called? Go to the salad bar and grab some. And then just put them on a tray. And then what I do every night is I put them in a Ziploc and I put them in the fridge every night before I leave school. That way, and they usually stay for about a week. So yeah. And then what you can do is you can sort them by where they grow. So do they grow above ground or do they grow below ground? And this is literally, these are the charts that come with it. And then these are the sorting cards. So they have, again, the real photograph paired with word. To increase that literacy and that vocabulary. But this is just a piece of brown cardstock and a piece of green cardstock, and I just taped them together. And then in here, I have the different parts of a plant and what we eat. So this is the other new activity I added. So it's, again, a sorting board, and they can sort. So we have roots, vegetables that are roots, vegetables that are stems, vegetables that are seeds, vegetables that are a leaf, and then the fruit that grows on plants, and then vegetables that are flowers. And again, you can have them sort them, and I just had those Velcro dots. That's how they're attached. And then let me show you the rest of the new veggie activities. So here is the anchor chart you can make. So again, it's the same cards. You can just make it into an anchor chart. And it does have a recording page for my kinder friends. And then if you want to talk about where vegetables grow and read tops and bottoms, this is a perfect chart for that. And I just colored this with a crayon so they could kind of differentiate what grows above and what grows below ground. And then there is a recording page too. So that's a really fun activity for where vegetables grow and the parts of the plants that we eat. And then I have your typical parts of a plant. Oh, it's covered up, sorry guys. Parts of a plant, anchor chart, and what plants need. And then there are one-page posters and recording pages. And this is a little activity you can put at the science table. Oh my gosh, I'm sticking to the chart, guys. Okay, so this was one of those plants from a 6-pack little thing. And you just take these and you glue them to a toothpick, and they can label the parts of a plant. And what I love about this activity too is they'll notice like it's almost dead. because it doesn't have water and it doesn't have sunlight because it's at the science table. So it's also kind of great for them to see how plants, like what happens to them if they don't get the nutrients and the water and all the things that they need. And then there's the life cycle parts. So there's a recording page. There are individual cards you can make into a big Anger chart or just have them at the table. Again, another interactive chart. And then again, a one-page poster. And then here are some of the math mats, because you know I always have math mats. I'm gonna just twist on you guys. So I have the scale, and it has the prompt. That way they know to put the items in to the scale, like real life here. Okay, so the Brussels sprout weighs more than the green bean. And then I have one for the magnifying glass, and then they can also measure the vegetables, or I have some other options for you, like, so somebody's asking me, do I put all of this out at once? And I do not. So, like, this would be one science table setup I would have. Like, I would have this out, like, if we were, like, doing farm and we were talking about veggies, and then that would be it. Like, I wouldn't have all this other stuff out. Like, I would put it out maybe the next week or the week after. So, yes. So, yeah, so they can measure, and again, I have the prompt with little cubes, so they can measure and then they can sort. So, like, the asparagus is, you know, they can count, you know, we'll just say it's like 15 big, so that one is tall, and the green bean is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is short. So again, they're measuring using real life objects. And if you don't want to use real fruits and veggies, put in some ones from the Pretend Center. Put some in the Pretend Center. So usually my science units, you guys are asking me. So you guys are asking me about how often, how much do I get through? And I teach half day now, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So I do not get to all do everything in my science units anymore. I probably get one either circle or small group science in a week, on a good week, let's be honest. And then I really rely on my science table setups that they do independently during center time. My kids, now that I have these fun science table setups, they do it independently during centers, and they pick it. When I taught full day, I would have more time, so I would always get at least one circle and a small group in a week that was science. But you guys know it's hard to fit all the things in. But typically my science units aren't this giant. They're smaller. But this one, I thought, you know what, we got to add some veggies in, that way if you're doing a farm theme. Oh, so I would put out that, this science table setup about the vegetables if I was doing a farm theme, but if I was doing like a flower shop and just a spring theme, I would probably put out more of the, like, life cycle of a plant. I would put out more of those pieces. And I'm going to show you what you can use if you're doing a spring theme. All right. You're just doing like a spring theme, or maybe you're doing this in the fall. And maybe you just are like talking about seeds. So put out a little tray of seeds. And this is just a little tray from the dollar store. And like buy the like fancy throwaway dishes, like wedding like section of the Dollar Tree. And they can sort it. So they can sort by round and pointy, small, medium, and large. And again, there are these prompts. You can just like literally plop on here. You could also just put out a tray of fake leaves or fake flowers. It's up to you. If you think your kids are going to destroy a real plant, just put out fake ones. Again, Dollar Tree is fabulous for this. And then they can sort small, medium, and large. They can do round and pointy. And there are tons of sorting boards. There are recording pages. You could also do the plant measure. And there are harder ones. The one I had on my science table was just, what was it? Short and long. This one is short, medium, and long, so they could sort based on the leaves too. Or you could have out full stems and they could sort it that way too. So yeah, and then they have the weigh it boards as well. And then if you want to do it during circle, this is what I usually do. Like if I'm reading a plant book, this is kind of how I sneak in science during circle. So I literally take an anchor chart or take a piece of chart paper and I just like decorate the edge. And then I don't even glue these on. I just like plop them on. And then as a group, we sort the flowers. So these are again, all from the dollar store. And like, so we would read like a book about plants. It could be fiction or nonfiction. And then they could sort. They could take turns coming up to the middle of the group, and they could put this on. And I would just have like a bucket of them, of fake flowers. And then they could sort by color. In my like organizing tote, I literally just fold these up in like fours, and I put these in, that way I have them for next time, and I'm not wasting paper and throwing stuff away. And I have it ready for next time or later in the year when I get to this part. So another thing that you can do in it is plant actual seeds. And what I do is I just put a bowl of dirt, ignore my counters, and then I have them plant. And then, oh, I'm sticking the floor again. Okay, I'll come over here real quick. So you can either have them plant like flowers that are already grown, like out of a 6-pack, or you can have them plant seeds. We planted these maybe 4 to 5 days ago. So you want to pick seeds that have short germination time. So like radishes grow really well, and I have all this in the packet. Lettuce, my green beans starting to come, my carrots, they're a little bit slower, but you can see a little guy coming, and peas. And then I have the little sticks. I just label them, super, super simple. But what I love about these clear cups is you'll see the roots. Like, you don't have to buy these fancy root viewers or any, like those $20 contraptions. Just put it in a plastic cup, and then you'll see the roots. And then if you want to just plant the flowers, these also work great to send home as Mother's Day gifts, and they can like decorate the outside with a Sharpie. But you can also have them measure one of the plants every day, and then they can record how big it is. And just so you know, okay, so the reason why there's dirt all over is because they water it with a squirt bottle. I have a plant helper, and they water it with a squirt bottle, so it kind of like goes everywhere. So I'm really not that big of a mess. And then there's a recording page that goes with that. There's also a plant need or have anchor chart that you can do. I usually do these around the end of the unit, so I can kind of do like a learning check for them. But yeah, oh, and there's a recording page too. All right, so I'm gonna turn slow so I don't make anybody dizzy. And then as always, there is a note you can send home so they can keep learning about plants at home. There are journal covers, and there are various journal options. There is a read aloud. I printed this one small because I know some of you guys have a small science center. So there's directions on how to print everything smaller. So if you have a small science center, print this, but just print it smaller. If you don't have a ton of room, just print it smaller and print it like a half page, and you'll be able to fit more stuff at your table. I know I saw some people commenting that their science center is small, so just print it smaller. And then you'll be able to fit all the things at the table. And then, I mean, if you're doing plants, you gotta do the color changing experiment, right? You can use celery or daisies, and then I have a recording page for my kinder friends. All right, so I'm gonna keep walking over here, and I'm gonna look at all this stuff I'm gonna show you guys. So you guys always ask me about what trays I use for my science units. So there's so many trays you could use, and it's not gonna cost you a fortune. So this one it's like a 5 sorting tray. This one's from the dollar store or Dollar Tree. This one also, it's clear. They come in colors sometimes too. This one is from the dollar store. This tray, I wanna say this is Dollar Tree. You'll have to watch, they carry them in different colors based on the season. So these are great for like sorting at the science table. I do also love these wooden trays. It's a Melissa and Doug tray that my a set of cars came in. So this works great for sorting too. And then if you need like a tray, because you see like I have my veggies on a tray, these sometimes are at the Dollar Tree. But this whole set I got from Discount School Supply. This is also a great tray option. Comes in different colors, and it just kind of keeps everything contained, and they kind of know where to put it back. If you have all of the things they're exploring on a tray, kind of gives them a space to put it back, and it kind of keeps your science center just a little bit more organized. Oh, sorry, these are Amazon, and if you go to the top of this post, I linked these and these on Amazon. I know, I'm very excited. Somebody's like, yay, Dollar Tree for getting little trays. I know, I'm very excited. You can tell I use them with my, the things coming off. These big trays are Target. If you go online to target.com, and I want to say it's like the Bullseye Playground, you can get sets of 5 of these. They're $3 each. I love these because they're super sturdy. They're from Lakeshore too, but you have to order the same color when you order them online at Target. So Target, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, Melissa and Doug, Amazon, and then Dollar Tree or Discount School Supply or Amazon. And then my buckets. So you'll see I always put things in buckets. These are from the dollar store. They usually come in like a 3 or a 4 pack. And then again, they come in like seasonal colors. They have all different sizes. So they have like the tiny one, and then they have a bigger one. I literally have a stack like this big in my office because if the kids step on them or break them or something, it's no big deal. But yeah, so I love these little buckets from the dollar store. If you need a little stand to put your books on or something, try and get like I don't even know if this is like one of those fancy chalkboards. This is from like the Target dollar spot. I know like Hobby Lobby has them, but just use a little chalkboard. You can also use picture frame stands from the Dollar Tree. Those work great for holding your books or a challenge or whatever it is. And then everybody always asks me like, what tools do you need? And all of my science units, which I'll show you more of them in a minute, typically they require you to find something hands-on. So getting real pumpkins or getting real apples or real leaves or fake ones. But yeah, but the actual like science tools you would need are magnifying glasses. And all of this is linked. If you go to the top of this post in my Amazon store, all of this is linked. These came in like a little, what is this, stand or something? They're really nice. These are, I want to say, Learning something. I don't know. I can't remember the company, but they're just big and they're beautiful and they're pretty sturdy. And this one needs to be cleaned, but it's fine. Because how many times do they like get these and they put their like eyeball right up to them, right? So I would say you would need magnifying glasses, and then you need like measurement tools. So just counting cubes, any kind of counting cubes. These Unifix cubes work. The other kind of counting cubes that have the ones you can connect on different sides work great too. A scale. So I have the balance scale in my science center right now. Oh, yep. So you can either do one of, mine, look, it's not even like off. You can tell the kids play with this. But this is just a little scale from Amazon, and you can like recalibrate it or whatever. I just need to do it. But this is learning resources, or you can do, I like the balance scale better. The one that's back there on my science table. That one is almost always on my science table. I love that one. It's learning resources. Can you see it? That one's my favorite scale. But this one's fun too, just so they can explore different kinds of scales. And then if you want them to measure, you can also use, again, the counting cubes, or you can buy links, those like chain links. And then one thing we love to measure with are rainbow rulers. And I literally just took a free ruler I got somewhere, and I colored each inch a different color. And I just call them rainbow rulers because I colored them in a rainbow. But they can measure. So let's say we're gonna measure this timer. They can put it up, and they're learning how to line things up. Now, are they looking at the numbers? No way. But they're counting the blocks. So again, they're using a ruler, but they're just using it in a different way, and that's totally okay for our little learners. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This timer is 4 big, or you can even say this one is 4 inches big. Another thing you can make are these bean rulers, and I have a post on my blog. I'll put that afterwards we're done. But all I did was I took a piece of like big clear tape. I lined up the beans, 10 of them, and then I folded it over, and then I put another piece of tape on, and then I just wrote with Sharpie numbers on them. And so that way they can count how big it is. So they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now they're using beans to count, but So you guys know when they use beans to count and they have like their 3 and or 4 or 5 and the beans move on them and it's so frustrating. So I just put tape and that way the beans don't move and they're measuring, they're counting, and they're using a non-standard measurement tool. So that way when they go to kinder, their teachers are gonna be like super impressed, you know. Or when they go to first grade and they're like, wow, they know how to line up a ruler? That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna show you some of my favorite science books. So kind of going along with all of the measurement tools, again, these are linked on my Amazon store. I love this, How Do You Measure Length and Distance? It's super simple text, if I can even open it. But it talks about like using different kinds of things to measure. How do we measure and why? It's just a really great book. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this if you want it. This one's also great. It's in the same series, How Do You Measure Weight? And it talks about how do you measure weight in the real world and with all the different scales. And I love these too because they're diverse. These are great for these math counts books. These are from Scholastic. You can also get them on Amazon. They're cheaper on Scholastic. Sorry. But they just redid them. So there's like a new version that came out, like an updated version, because I want to say these from like the 90s. But they're awesome. But it talks like this one's about capacity and how you measure what's inside of an object and that the capacity, how much something holds. And again, real simple text, real life pictures. But there's a whole series. Again, they're from Scholastic. You can get them on Amazon too. But this one's capacity. This one's length. There's one on like patterns. But this is a great series. And I don't even know, does it say who it's by? It's Children's Press. But it doesn't really have, I don't even know if there's an author. Let me look. Oh, there you go. Math Counts by Henry Puckman. All right, there we go. So now we got that for you guys too. All right, and then, so the charts. So I typically use these small charts just because they're easier to hang up in my center and easier for the kids to kind of manipulate if we're doing one during circle. So I use the 1-inch ruling chart just because I like that it has skinny lines on it. Let me back it up a little bit. Yeah, because I can't write in a straight line. So I like the line so it helps me even everything up. And then I also do use the big chart paper. And again, I like the ones with the 1-inch line just because I can't write or draw straight. And then I use a ruler because I can't draw straight lines. Yep, super simple. And then Sharpies, or not Sharpies, I use Smelly markers, Mr. Sketch Smelly markers for all my charts. And I do, if you have kinders or if you have pre-K, it's always fun to let them share the marker, and that will increase their writing and their engagement if you're making it with the kiddos. And then I use crayons a little bit sometimes, and then I just use a glue stick. Well, I'm gonna tell you a trick about anchor charts. So one trick, because I'm trying to save paper and I'm trying not to print everything every year. So one thing I do with anchor charts, and I'll kind of show you one over here. So I laminate the chart pieces. So like for this anchor chart, I don't know if you can see, but it's like, oh gosh, it's hard to do it that way. So this is laminated. That way, when we're done with that chart, I can just pull off the anchor chart pieces, put them back in my science like bucket thing or whatever container you keep your science stuff in, and then I can use it for the next year. And then I save paper. I don't have to print it again. I don't have to laminate it again. So that's why if you see my anchor charts, if the pieces are laminated, that's why, because I reuse them. Saves ink, saves paper. And if I don't use every anchor chart every year, but they're there if I need them, right? So I'm gonna show you how I organize them now. Hold on. Okay, so I use, you guys, look at all the science I've done. Whew. These have been a labor of love. I do love science, but man, whew, these have been a lot of work, but I love it though. Y'all know I love science. So I use these plastic iris tubs from Michaels. You can tell this is my plant unit that's all, that's out there. And then on a book ring, and you can totally use a binder if you want. And the binder, when I finish the curriculum or the science curriculum, I will make spines for everything for you guys, and I will make some binder covers because I know some of you guys are asking for them. So they're coming probably in June. I have to finish science first before I do other projects. So I just print off all the teacher pages and like the table of contents. So here are the inside pages when you download any of the units. They have real photographs, and they have examples, ideas. That way you don't get a packet and go, oh my gosh, how do I set this up? It gives you a visual. I mean, it has trays, multiple ideas. And then if there's a worksheet that goes with it, I just put it in the back. So that way it's there. Yeah. But ooh, here's the new one I added. So again, make sure you guys download the plant unit. Again, if you already bought it. And then I just keep all this stuff in baggies. So here's like the weather. Oh, and it comes with these labels too. Here's the weather unit, which I'm gonna actually use after spring break. And you can see like, here's the anchor charts I kept. I didn't actually peel these off yet. I just folded them up and put it back in. Put it in, you know, so because I can talk really well tonight. So I just put them back in, and that way I have all the chart pieces. And sometimes I keep them just so I kind of know what they look like. Because you know how if you open something up in the following year, you're like, oh no, what is this? So you can see I have all my stuff. I have the little books. I just keep stuff in baggies. Like this is all the vocabulary cards. This one has sorting, so I just put the whole sorting boards in there. Cotton balls I threw in. This was part of the blowing challenge in the unit. And then like if I have any examples that I show the kids, I try and throw those in there. That way the unit is prepped and ready to go for the following year. So yeah, and look, all the things. That way when I open it up next year, I know what's going on and I'm not clueless. So here are all the science units so far. So there's my 5 senses, my pet fish, which is fun for a pet theme, all about building, which is also great to take to the block center, all about magnets, all about rocks, which you can use for tons of themes. There's colors, all about ramps, force and motion, which if you use creative curriculum, this is great for if you have to do a ball study, ice and snow. This one has all about my body and it has teeth in it. These iris containers, somebody's asking, they're from Michael's. You can also get them on Amazon. I would just buy them when they're on sale because otherwise they're expensive. And I would say they go on sale about like once a month at least. Being a scientist, that's kind of like your basic one. So if I don't have a science unit, I would grab Being a Scientist and you can literally plop any nature-ish thing and study anything kind of with this Being a Scientist because it's super basic. It's just basic science stuff. Weather, all about plants, the space, sun and moon, which also has day and night in it, trash and recycling, and I put these in together. But I have all about pumpkins and all about apples, and then I have all about leaves and trees because I know some of you guys have to do a trees study. Thanks for all your love and support. You guys are like loving these science units. I'm so glad that you love them and that you are doing them in your classroom. Make sure if you post on Instagram them in your classroom or if you post on Facebook, make sure you tag me so I can see all the awesome things that you guys are doing. So you guys have a fabulous night.